You've probably been told that you think too much, that you analyze everything, that you replay conversations in your head, that you anticipate outcomes no one else even considers. And maybe part of you has taken that as a compliment. After all, thinking deeply feels safer than acting impulsively. But overthinking is not a sign of superior awareness. It is usually a sign that your inner system is trying to regain control. When something feels uncertain, a relationship shift, an unanswered message, an upcoming decision, your mind doesn't simply try to understand it. It tries to stabilize it. The problem is not the situation itself, it's the lack of predictability. Your brain is designed to reduce uncertainty. Uncertainty creates tension. Tension creates the urge to resolve. So your thoughts begin to loop. You simulate outcomes. You revisit details. You search for the missing variable that would finally make everything feel settled. And for a brief moment, it works. Thinking gives you the illusion of control. But what feels like clarity is often just temporary relief. In this chapter, we'll examine why overthinking is not an intellectual habit. It is a protective mechanism within what I call the control system. And once you see the structure behind it, the pattern becomes far less mysterious. Within what I call the inner systems method, overthinking belongs to a specific structure, the control system. The control system is the part of your inner architecture that seeks stability through prediction. Its role is not negative. In fact, it is essential. It helps you plan. It helps you anticipate consequences. It allows you to reduce risk. Without it, you would act impulsively, ignore warning signs, and struggle to organize your life. But the control system has one fundamental vulnerability. It is deeply uncomfortable with uncertainty. Whenever something feels ambiguous, unclear signals, unpredictable outcomes, incomplete information, the control system interprets it as instability. And instability, psychologically, feels unsafe. Not physically unsafe, but internally unsettled. This is where the shift happens. Instead of simply observing the uncertainty, the control system tries to neutralize it. It asks, what did I miss? What could go wrong? What does this mean? What should I do differently next time? Each question seems rational. Each mental replay appears productive. But beneath the surface, the motivation is not understanding. It is reassurance. The control system is not searching for truth. It is searching for closure. And when closure is unavailable, because life rarely offers complete certainty, the system escalates. It increases analysis. It magnifies details. It reprocesses the same scenario repeatedly. Overthinking, then, is not an excess of intelligence. It is the control system overactivating in response to perceived unpredictability. To understand why this becomes exhausting, we need to look at the internal loop that keeps it running. To understand why overthinking becomes repetitive, we need to look at the structure behind it. I call this structure the control illusion loop. It is a three-stage cycle that explains why thinking more never actually creates stability, but feels like it does. Stage 1. The trigger of uncertainty. Every loop begins with uncertainty. It can be small, a message that sounds different than usual, a delayed response, an ambiguous comment, an upcoming decision without a clear outcome. Objectively, these events are neutral, but subjectively, they activate your control system. The key is not the event itself, it is the unpredictability it introduces. When something cannot be clearly categorized as safe or resolved, your mind experiences cognitive tension. That tension demands reduction. Stage 2. Cognitive overprocessing. This is where overthinking begins. Your mind starts generating possibilities. What did they mean? Did I say something wrong? What happens if I choose the wrong option? How can I prepare for every outcome? At first glance, this looks like problem solving. But notice the shift. The goal is no longer clarity. The goal is emotional relief. You analyze not to understand the situation, but to reduce the discomfort of not knowing. This stage feels productive. You feel active, engaged, alert. But beneath that activity is anxiety. And here is the critical illusion. The more scenarios you generate, the more it feels like you are gaining control. In reality, you are only generating temporary psychological stabilization. Stage 3. Temporary relief and reinforcement. Eventually, one of two things happens. Either you exhaust yourself, or you reach a thought that feels good enough. In that moment, tension decreases slightly. You feel calmer, not because the situation changed, but because your nervous system interprets the cognitive effort as action. That relief reinforces the behavior. Your brain learns, thinking reduces discomfort. And so, next time uncertainty appears, the control system activates faster. The loop becomes automatic. Trigger, overanalysis, temporary relief, reinforcement. Over time, this loop strengthens. And here is the paradox. The more you think to feel stable, the more unstable you become internally. Because certainty was never truly achieved, only simulated. This is why overthinking rarely leads to resolution. It leads to mental fatigue, self-doubt, and decision paralysis. The system is trying to protect you, but the strategy it uses, cognitive control, cannot eliminate uncertainty. It can only postpone it. At first, the control illusion loop feels intelligent. You are thinking ahead. You are anticipating. You are being careful. But the very mechanism designed to create stability slowly produces the opposite effect. There are 3 reasons for this. Mental fatigue. Overthinking consumes cognitive resources. Your brain was not designed to simulate dozens of hypothetical futures repeatedly. Each scenario requires attention, memory, emotional evaluation. The more you replay possibilities, the more cognitive energy you drain. And fatigue weakens clarity. What begins as careful thinking gradually turns into confusion. You start doubting your conclusions. You question your own reasoning. You lose confidence in your decisions. The system meant to create certainty begins to erode it. Decision paralysis. The control system believes that more information equals better outcomes. But when the mind generates too many possibilities, choice becomes heavier, not lighter. Each option carries imagined risks. Each action feels potentially irreversible. So instead of deciding, you delay. You wait for the perfect signal. You search for the final piece of clarity that never arrives. The paradox is subtle. The more you try to control the future through thinking, the less capable you feel of acting in the present. Increased anxiety. Most importantly, overthinking keeps uncertainty alive. By constantly revisiting the situation, you prevent emotional closure. Your nervous system stays in a mild state of activation. You are not in crisis, but you are never fully relaxed either. And over time, this background tension becomes your baseline. This is why chronic overthinkers often describe feeling tired, yet mentally restless. The control system is working overtime. And here lies the deeper irony. You are trying to feel safe. But the strategy you use keeps your system alert. The loop was built to protect you. But when it becomes rigid, it amplifies the very instability it tries to eliminate. If overthinking is a loop, the solution is not to suppress it. It is to interrupt it. The goal is not to eliminate your control system, it is to regulate it. I call this practical framework the 3R interrupt method. Recognize the first step is awareness without judgment. Instead of asking, Why am I like this? You ask. My control system is activated. What triggered it? This shift is crucial. You move from self-criticism to pattern recognition. Notice the physical signs: restlessness, replaying conversations, imagining worst-case scenarios, urgency to resolve something immediately. Label the state. Not dramatically, just accurately. This is uncertainty. My system is trying to reduce it. Recognition alone already weakens the loop, because unconscious repetition becomes conscious observation. Reduce. The second step is reducing intensity, not eliminating thought. You don't need to solve the situation. You need to lower activation. Two simple ways. Narrow the focus to what is factually known. Set a time boundary for reflection. For example, I will think about this for 10 minutes. Then I will stop. Structure calms the control system. It reassures the mind that containment exists. Reduction does not remove uncertainty. It reduces the nervous system's urgency. Release. The final step is the hardest. Releasing the need for complete certainty. This means accepting that some variables cannot be controlled through analysis. You choose action over simulation. Or you choose temporary non-action consciously. You remind yourself, thinking more will not create control. It will only create repetition. Release is not passivity. It is the decision to stop negotiating with uncertainty. Over time, practicing the 3R method teaches your control system something new. Stability does not come from endless analysis. It comes from tolerating ambiguity. Overthinking is rarely about intelligence, and it is almost never about weakness. It is about protection. Your control system was built to anticipate risk, to reduce unpredictability, to keep you stable in environments that once felt uncertain. In many moments of your life, this system helped you. It helped you prepare. It helped you avoid mistakes. It helped you survive emotionally complex situations. But when protection turns into rigidity, strategy turns into cycle. The more you try to eliminate uncertainty through thought, the more fragile certainty becomes. Understanding this changes the narrative. You are not broken. You are not incapable of deciding. You are not too much. Your system is simply over-engaged. And once you recognize the structure, once you see the control illusion loop for what it is, you gain something more powerful than control. You gain choice, not the choice to eliminate uncertainty, but the choice to respond differently when it appears. And that is where real stability begins,